Good morning, good morning. Let's start with some music and see you in a few minutes. Good morning. How is everybody? Hi, guys. How is your week? We are here on and off, like the snow melts and then it just falls the same day back. It was the same thing this morning. Like I woke up and the snow was practically not there. And then it started some mixture of rain and snow. Icy rain, rather to say, and snow. And now it's just sipping snow. It's white again. It's just, I guess it's winter. You just cannot escape it. So I hope everybody has been doing well. It is so, I'm so glad to see you there. And we are going to start the, hey, good morning, Andy. Uh, you hopefully have the same weather as us because we were supposed to get a really bad storm and we managed to escape it. So it's all good. As if any of you is watching my dailies, this is like R&R weekend and I am going to take a huge advantage of that. So we are going to jump in. I'm going to draw the very first of the second one because the first one today is going to be Aquarius. And Aquarius is starting in a few days. It's finishing this year a little bit early. On the 18th, Pisces starts. Sometimes Aquarius goes up to 19 and a half, but it is what it is, right? So you can guys guess for the next one. And so let's start and let's see what it is. Let's jump right in. So, Aquarians. Oh, before I start, I'm going to tell you a little bit, just a little bit of astrology for a month. Um, it's really not much to report other than Mercury, Venus, and Mars are kind of like in direct motion, so which means we can attract people if we want, we can get things done if we want, and Mercury finally is not going to mess up with us, right? February overall, it's going to be a little bit slow on a calm side, I would say. It's March that things will be happening in a grand way. So kind of like bide your time. Also noted is February 5th, I believe, snow full moon. And it's really interesting because I was writing notes down to myself, and instead of FU, pardon me, FULL, just it's kind of like the word that is really interesting. I wrote FOOL, and I said, okay, that's a Freudian slip in writing. Why did I write full moon instead of full moon? So it's really interesting that I feel something around the 5th can be a little bit interesting. So be careful, plus minus like 2 days over there. So this full moon is interesting because we have Aquarius, well, every full moon is interesting, just put it this way, because we have the opposites. So what is happening with these opposites? Like, first of all, we have Aquarius, which is kind of like a somber, cool assessment of the situation, and a full moon is in Leo, which is basically the energies of fire. Basically, it's a fire sign, but they're pushing us into action. So it's kind of like certain things that are really well thought out and kind of like pushes it forward, right? So that's kind of happens. And I would just say the month, entire month is going to be really good for deep reflection. As I said, I feel it's going to be a little bit slower than anticipated, but let's see with individual signs how this works. All right, I put a note for my first one, and let's start. So, full moon, right, Barbie? Weird. So, Aquarians, let's start with you, my dear Aquarians, and see. Oh, you have whale. Oh, Aquarians are saying we're not going to have a calm month. That's not gonna happen for those Aquarians who are. Ooh, this one wanted to come out. Ooh, it's the devil reversed. It's weird because I do have a very specific explanation for this card. However, when I pull it out, it was just like a really quick thought. Forget about your explanation. It was just got me. It was really weird. So let's get a few more. So this one is King of Swords, and this one is Five of Cups. Let's put those guys here, reversed. And I think I'm possibly holding the deck upside down, but that's okay. And I want to get a few cards here. Oh, look at that. We have death. We have death. And we have falseness. Okay, now I know why I was getting this message. It seemingly appears to be possibly negative on the surface, but I really think this is really far from negative. I stand by that the month will be very calm, but I think Aquarians are going to go in a state of a really deep reflection. And sometimes people do that. Like, they're saying that February is not a great month because people set up so many goals in January, and then February they're realizing, oh, it's not happening, or it's not going this way. So it's a little bit of kind of like funky kind of like feeling, right? But look at this whale. Whale came out first, and it's really setting this whole stage up over here, right? So it is saying that now this like creature is taking time outside of the element and having a fun, right? So it's going from a water to air, right? Which is kind of like really up there with Aquarians. So it's just kind of like really time for taking a break. Keep in mind that Venus is in your sign, so you'll be very attractive if you want to kind of go in any kind of relationships. I would just really advise, due to this position, that you really watch if this is the true thing, because anything that is not true based on this is going to either show to be very false, or it's going to surprise you in a really bad way, or you might be false in a relationship because somehow you feel awkward and you're not being yourself, and it's really going to be sniffed out. So you just can't really take a risk. So yeah, I do see that some of you will try to force certain things out because you'll be very attractive. The devil card gives you that attraction as well. You're like freaking the hot thing on the block, and it doesn't matter how you look or anything else. It's just literally you're like a magnet. But that magnet attracts good and bad things, right? So King of Swords is really good. He's very righteous, and that could be us Aquarians as well. And it's basically, I think that's what it is, that we are not going to be jumping in a fry if you wish, that rather we will be very cautious with our choices. And that's possibly based on the fact that we want to protect our emotions, but not in a wounded way. Sort of like, you know what, this is a high possibility, this is going to not end well, so is this person worthy of my time? And am I also kind of like the person that I really want to be? So it's going to be lots of these internal questioning that I see over here, and taking kind of like a time to be somebody else. And it's kind of like feels like Aquarians are shedding their skin, and that's why we have death. Something is coming to an end. Whoever you were, you're redefining yourself, and something else will be happening, right? So maybe you're realizing that you have become attached to your surroundings, that maybe you have created around you. Like, we are fixed sign after all, we have a process and we go with this process. But you know what, like, I now this another perspective is breaking through this barrier, right? And maybe we are realizing that we have constricted ourselves. It will be like, oh, I have a low back pain, so hence I cannot do that or that. You're not going to think like that anymore. I promise you, because King of Swords is also like somebody who is very clinical, if you wish. So it's just cutting that bullshit left and right? So in the other people, but also within ourselves. And I'm picking up on lots of laughs that Aquarians will be able to laugh about themselves, about everything, the world they have quote unquote created. And I think that's very nice, because with Saturn that we had in our it was like pushing us down like this big boulder. It was like just so tough, and we were so humorless. And I think that many Aquarians started to feel old. And I really think February is the last month to put everything on their shelf. And why did they do that? And this is not weird. Weird on the camera, it looks weird. Maybe I should just remove this and make it simpler. I thought it would help, but it doesn't. So Aquarians, things might be a little bit awkward at times, as you can see over here, how things actually really work out. But you know, I would just not fret. Like, never, every time you feel that you're in a corner, just remember that nobody puts baby in a corner, and you can get out. It's something you can do if you want it. So that's much. Enjoy your thing, guys. Please join my newsletter. I sometimes send when I'm inspired a little bit more about it. So I think it's in the description that you can see how you can join it, and we can go from there. So guys, are you guessing what it is? Let me just catch up with the conversation. Lorna, you said that you have floods there, like rain, like that's, ugh. I guess you're getting your quota for the next 5 years over there, as long as you guys are safe, right? Andy said we are having weird weather. Andy lives basically in the neighborhood, so well, I am betting that we are not going to have lots of snow. That's because of my mountain ash tree. The hunters say that if the tree doesn't bear lots of fruit, it's going to bear a mild winter, which so far is the case. Last year, this time, we already had, I think, a meter and a half of snow. It was just freaking crazy, right? So this year, melting and coming back doesn't bother me at all. Capricorn is the devil. I have a couple on my tail, but I'm not interested. Well, Capricorns are, sorry, Chris, if you're there, horn dogs, but they're like also very Polish. They present themselves extremely well, and sort of like they are definitely a type who don't want anything crazy outside, but in the bedroom, go crazy all the way. So it's kind of like a really mix. If somebody wants somebody who is very strict on the outside, and it can make a really good life partner because they're earth sign. That's kind of like how it works. Oh, so that's why it is. So let me see. You guys have the guesses. I think, what did we have? We have Gemini, we have Cancer, and it's going to be Scorpio. This first one is super hard to guess. I get it. So we are going to put this aside and take another one for you guys to do it. So we're just doing 6 today, right? Because I want to really spend time on this one. And let's go with this. I'm still trying to decide on a format, and this year I'm just doing everything a little bit differently. I'm not pushing myself into must do this, must do that, and I just like drive myself nuts over that. So let's go with the flow, and I am pretty sure you're going to love me no matter what. And it says, I can be if I'm attracted to the person. You describe it to a T. There you go. Alrighty, so Scorpio, let me put your timestamp over here. And let's go. Oops, this came with me. So we have childhood. I know my stuff, and I was out with a friend. Oh, look at this. Few of them just jumped out. I was out with a friend, and this one kind of like wanted to be pulled, and that's maybe because my hands are still sticky. I'm taking this Sage, kind of like beautiful, what do you call it, essential oils that I got for a gift. The previous year I still have them, and they're just like so amazing. So okay, so Knight of Cups, look at that. It's saying that can be some flirtation, and look at this, major, major, and major over here, and this kind of like is turning a leaf over. Scorpio, these are really, really, really big changes. What do I need to do here? I need to check this tower. So Scorpio, you're going to extremes. No, I'm just going to take one, not not a bundle that came out, because Scorpio is saying we are the depth of the astrology. You need to kind of like read us. I get it. I respect it, and I really respect Scorpio very much. So what do you have? You have the tower. This is your card, Scorpio. This is Mars driven. Mars is going direct. You are basically blurring out everything that you need to say. Strength is about commitment, and the sun is about commitment. So is some kind of commitment collapsing, or something has to happen for you to commit? It actually can be interpreted both ways, right? So you really need to kind of like understand it from that standpoint. You're starting with a childhood, like it's really so confusing, and this one kind of like resonates with that because it sometimes signifies male child, or something like very young, male, young energy, young energy kind of a thing. So what I really like in this photo, and I always kind of stress this out, that we have these tonality over here, right? Like we have those rays coming through. It's like my elephant over here. We have these rays, and like, I mean, if you really think back when you were a child, maybe it's for me like, oh, what is this? Like I'm just seeing like you cannot see it there. Maybe it's me because where I came from in Croatia when I was growing up, there was like no computers in 70s, right? It was just you just go out and play with the other kids, kind of a thing. That was the name of the day. And that's literally what I have been doing. Like, we would go out and we would just climb the trees and do kind of like very organic stuff. I really have to say, I wish we have a little bit more of that. So this kind of like gives me this element. I'm transported back into that innocence, how great it was, kind of like no worry. And I'm pretty sure this is not happening these days around for the kids. But this is like your astrology reading. So how is this really reflecting to you? You're like kind of like sorting certain things out, I would say, with your family. And something that is happening in your relationship or in your family has to do with what you wanted to have. Maybe like you had a vision that relationship has to be smooth and supportive, and it isn't, and you're feeling that you're in a relationship for the money, or it's not worthwhile to, let's say, divorce, or your family just beats one drum and nothing else. So I really feel that there is like, I mean, some kind of like a family activity or family assessment, and then this gets to the freaking, halt. The tower is eruption, and since this belongs to your sign, I think it's something that you need to do. Almost like this feels to me that you have reached some kind of plateau. Like no matter what we do, like you're learning a different language, you are like, I mean, losing weight, you're exercising, you always hit that plateau. And this plateau for you, I think it was in relationships, and to you that's mortal sin, because to you relationships are the name of a day, right? So it could have been some kind of like a shame. Like you need to heal it and let it go so you can go back and revisit this theme of purity. Maybe your family is shaming you. Maybe you're ashamed of your family. As I said, that can be seen from different standpoints, because I'm not looking in a 2D dimension over here, like even though they lay down in 2D. So but there is like something really happening that you are really trying to figure out, and there's this frivolity, and I don't know why they call it frivolity, because this is really about the lightness and raise yourself above. The tower is a complete destruction, and since you're a phoenix as well as a little bug, as well as represented with eagle, this is the phoenix state where they're ashes and you need to raise yourself up. You know what is really beautiful thing when you raise yourself up from the ashes, that you can create completely new thing. Like you're moving to a new apartment, you can decide to leave everything behind and start from the scratch, and it feels new and fresh. So something like that will be happening for you, Scorpio. This is not going to be the calmest month. I'm going to tell you, there are going to be lots of shiftings. Keep in mind that, like, all the other fixed signs are sort of like in a square formation. So they're like agitated, if you wish, when any other fixed sign transition is happening. And it's very, very important for you, family and the kids, commitment and the kids. What is like, so this is a family and this is a family. But this could be more or less your biological family, and that could be foreign family. But it's kind of like you're really reaching out. Like there is like this flirtation, you're very amorous, you're really going in your direction. Having said all of that, it's not going to be many options for you. You'll be forced through the steps. There's like something that you have missed in the past, and that's why the tower shows up always when we don't want to do what we are meant to do on this planet. It's just like a shake-up. Like when you have the salt shaker and it all gets really kind of like pulled together because the water entered, you really have to shake it up. So that's what tower happens when, the other side is saying, wait a minute, wakey, you need to do that. So there we go, Scorpio. It's going to be a really interesting month. If by the end of the month you're still keeping these people around you, that means you have made a decision, you stay and you go. I have a feeling it's going to be just one of those. So that's why it is. And the Scorpio is your rising. So there you go. Very, very, very good. If Scorpio is one of the inner planets, so I'm talking about Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mars is not inner, but it's close enough. Or your ascendant, always think of yourself as Scorpio first and then everything else second, because Scorpio is that powerful. And I have noticed that before in the readings it didn't make sense, and then when I start applying the system, it started to work. Hi Jenny, good to see you. Yes, everybody's reporting freaking snow. Utah, oh my god. Oh, you have been in drought too. Like, so yeah, you're like on the desert side as well over there. But snow is so beautiful, isn't it? It's like so innocent. Alrighty, let's go to see what is next. Well, next we have Capricorn, and I felt guilty that I'm not pulling Capricorn first, because usually I do, but this is like, it's technically not monthly because I'm doing the sun transition, which starts around 21st, but for the purposes of YouTube, let's call it monthly. So it's Capricorn. Next, did anybody guess Capricorn? Nobody guessed, guys. Oh well, you know, Lorna, look at you. You're also Scorpio ascending. And Andy Scorpio ascending. We have some energy here in the house. Awesome. So let's see. Capricorn is the third sign today. So let's see. What do we get here? Capricorn. Capricorn. We have lightning power. So this is one of those things. Capricorn is always craving power. But be very careful when lightning happens. You know what happens. Can you harness it? How do you harness it? We'll talk about that. So let's see a little bit more for Capricorn here. Capricorn, Capricorn. Ooh. And look at that. They're all freaking reversed. You've seen it yourself. Five of Swords reversed is actually good. Eight of Wands reversed doesn't change the meaning very much. Five of Wands reversed is actually good. This one is the only one that kind of like puts a little bit of a damper, if you wish, in all of that. So I actually want to check that one. And we have Gift. And I also want to check this one, Lightning. And Lightning is conversations. So I guess I have to figure out where are my boundaries here. So I'm going to put it here to know where to start. It's each and every time I miss it, weirdly enough. It's just my camera is a little bit of the weirdo today. So did I move it? I still don't see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's better. All right, so where do I start? So as I was saying, so let me see, it's 10, 19. And look at it, they're actually 19, which is the sun. And guess what? Sun is extremely powerful as well. We have flares. So weird that they started this February telling you how calm it's going to be. But it's going to be a lots of work inside. And for you guys, this is clear over here. So power is everything around us, even though we are seeing the lightning, and that's very kind of like a shamanic deck that, as you know, I love, right? It kind of like electrifies and splits the atmosphere, right? So that heated air comes rushing together. So we hear basically thunder, which is, they call it the applause of the gods, right? So lightning is something that you just don't ignore. You don't walk down the street and you hear or you see the light without noticing it, right? So that power, as I said, is now available to you. It's really in itself is neutral, but it's not good or bad. So how are you going to utilize it and use it? How are you going to determine what is life-giving and what is really harmful, right? So your intention, and look at this, you have conversation coming through it, like in quite a few people. So it's going to be very important not to make a knee-jerk kind of like discussions, because I feel that these three cards are really connecting. And I'm already seeing a pattern that many people will be reassessing the people who are around them in their vicinity, right? So you might be seeing yourself using this power for good, and maybe even, let's say, preaching to the people around you, but do not allow yourself to basically get caught into, let's say, determining what must be done for your friends or somebody else. For that, I think a deep conversation will need to take place, right? I also suggest to you guys a little bit of ceremonial kind of like things to simply connect with the elements, and that's going to ground you, because this actually can really damage you very much, right? Because that's the spirit is channeled through you. So do you use it for good or bad, right? I was reading, watching rather to say, recently lots of these near that experiences of kind of like things. And last time I recommended another channel, Shaman Oaks, but it was so weird because I went back to this channel and I started to follow him years ago. And it's so weird because I was studying DMT and he was talking about his DMT experiences, where he was clearly talking about how he doesn't have that power, and how he is admiring and how he really loved the DMT trip. But then the weird thing was that now he is presenting himself as a medium. So I guess, you can probably become it as per him, which I don't believe. I believe you are a medium, and you always know that you're a medium. But I don't know, if he was open to all of that, so be it. So, but anyway, because of that, I kind of like shied away from his channel. I'm kind of like that way, Aquarius, overly analytical. So for you guys, Capricorns over here, it's just like that. This divine power. You see, like maybe this guy's Capricorn that kind of like made me just like walk away, because now I'm not certain that he is giving me like that transparent kind of like stuff. But in your case, this is all talking about the groups of people. It's talking about win at no kind of like what is the expression, win at any cost, right? This talks about the boundaries. You're resetting the boundaries, that's for sure, or somebody's resetting a boundary with you. This could be some kind of like love communication, and that could be relating to that you are maybe discussing somebody with lots of people, and somebody might or have been appearing promising, but there is like a doubt that you have. There's really a doubt, because this is really signifying that something is coming like a Trojan horse. Because look, you have a gift on one side, on the other one you have the Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles at reverse, which means it's a no-go, it's a dead end street, but you're being lured into it. So it's going to be some surprise. So be very careful. I would say this is the crucial moment where you really need to figure out that boundaries. When you start feeling, you know how you know it? I'm so reactive when somebody violates my boundaries that I just eliminate person from my life. And like I give them 2 warnings. 1, please don't do it. Second one, stop doing it. And third one, you are out. And it is unfortunate, it can look drastic, but I just have learned that once when you allow that gate to open, it just goes downhill from that point on. So be very careful. It manifests in anger, in frustration, in feeling that little kind of like thing in your tummy. It's like even sudden headaches or migraines. And then you have to really start paying attention to what's happening. And that's is telling you that something is off. So be careful. You can avoid it. This is minor arcana. You can actually influence all of it, Capricorn. But be very careful of the people who kind of like bear gifts. So there you go. Let's see. Andy, that's why I'm going with Dean, because I would never want to use it poorly. Oh my gosh. You know what they say? Power corrupts, and the absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. It's it's just like so weird. Even with this tarot, like, I mean, I'm trying to really keep down anything I say because it can really come across in a really, really weird way. So, guys, did you guess? See, Barbie is sticking with Cancer. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else, guys? So, this is for this one, and this is going to be the next one. You keep guessing all along. Over here, the next time is a little bit different. So, next time you're going to have the rest. Oh my gosh, I'm just watching Matrix. I don't know if you hear him. He's looking at something at the ceiling. And that's one of those things when you see the cats checking the stuff and you're wondering, like, oof, are there ghosts and spirits around us, etc., etc. With Cancer, we have Pisces. I'm going to open it and see if... Oh, Aquarius was done. So this one comes to play, and then this one will be the next one. Ho, 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 Barbie. Barbie. Whew. Hot. Cancer. Let me just mark you down. Barbie. Barbie gets her card. Or is it a spider? Hey. So let's start with Cancer. Let's put your thingy here. Cancer. Cancer, Barbie's the winner. Cancer, look, you have desert and lighting. Two of them came through. And Barbie is like becoming very, very psychic. Like, probably she was, but her senses are really, really fine-tuned right now. So, let's see, Cancer. Oh, look at that. What, Cancer just already told me everything they need to tell me. 9 of Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles. And the Star. I actually don't have anything to confirm, but I will still draw for this lighting. It's weird that the desert is spiritual powers of some sort that are coming through. It's a vision quest, right? And look at that. It's sorrow. It's sorrow. Like, so that lighting for you comes out of anger, my dear Cancers, I would say. So what is basically happening here? The desert card is called also Vision Quest. That always talks about needing to go deep inside, just as we see as the pattern for this month, right? And kind of like try to find your own solutions. So sometimes they drop you in a desert. I would never do that. Honestly, snakes and these cold nights and the hot days, not my idea of spirituality. I can find better ways, and I cannot eat, and I will meditate for a month, but do not put me in a desert. But you get a kind of like idea of the story. A vision quest is basically a process where you kind of like have to spend a few days alone, like ideally in the wilderness where you don't hear the phones, telephones, nobody's driving by, and that's additional thing, right? That's what they said. Biblical Moses had this like mountain march, and the vision comes to you, right? And so basically you need to spend quite a bit of the time praying or meditating. And this kind of like brings you gifts. You get very good messages, directions, or even sometimes life-changing experience, right? And they're really, really profound revelations, almost like that near-death experiences where you feel near-death experiences, from what I've noticed, always relate to your life beliefs. If you believe in God, you're going to meet God or Jesus. If you don't, you're going to realize there's some kind of presence. So there's clearly some kind of like connection, but you're not going to define it that way, right? So keep in mind here that this is kind of like really time for you to kind of do it. And the same thing I was telling Scorpio, lighting is an incredible force. How will you use it? like the sorrow, like sorrow to me is always the other side, like of coin of anger, where we feel really, really sad, like, and people lash out, right? You can see people in pain screaming, right? So maybe something needs to be released for you, dear Cancer. Maybe, and especially you're the sign that is like so sensitive, you pull things inside and you are balling it up and putting the bow on it and you're holding instead of releasing it. So it's very, very important to set it out, right? Because look what follows. Like we have Nine of Pentacles, where you want to be solo, or maybe you don't want to be solo, but there's like a really appeal in being solo. So it's kind of like that maybe your wishes and what you really want are not in alignment. There's also Six of Pentacles, so I can add these two but not this one because it's a major one. 15, and again we have temptations. I think temptation also will be name of a day for the entire month. So Six of Pentacles is like the give and take, and it's the balance, it's the scales, but it's reversed. So everything is out of balance. It's kind of like realization. Sorry to be blunt, kind of like, but nobody cares. I can as well be myself. I can as well fulfill my own destiny. And those revelations, everything here, like looking into kind of like things that you focus into, which could have been a little bit material. Maybe you even feel guilt to some extent that you haven't been contributing on some kind of like a level. So that can be part of that sorrow. But you know what? Like we unfortunately cannot go backwards. We can go forwards, and you're realizing that you're getting the stars. The, in my opinion, the most powerful card. Not because it kind of like connects with Aquarians, but it's a hope, it's a vision, it's like something that you want to do, it's something that you want to change. You're going to become a very, very, very powerful individual by February 19th. It's going to be really interesting because you're going to feel unstoppable over here. So keep in mind that it's starting a little bit on the rough note. In the middle of it, something around the full moon on the 5th, you're feeling, whoa, you know, this is the way I feel okay and grounded, but is it really the way I want to go? And then the change happens. So my dear Cancer, buckle up. It's not going to be one of those months. With these cards, you really, really will be asked to be pushed on a completely different level, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go on the fifth one. The fifth one. How's everybody doing? Let me catch up with you guys. And so we have these guys. We have a next one here, and this is going to be the last one for today. And then we have the fun with the people over here. So no, nobody spoke about anything. Wow, interesting. Come on, guys. I live for this kind of like pauses to see what you say. So it's always nice to hear. Like, tell me what's going on in your life. Any kind of like deep thoughts that you have, share it with us. So we can all kind of like see if we are all in sync. So we have some guesses. We have Taurus, Sagittarius, Leo. Yeah. You guys are coming out with this. Oh, we had Taurus. Kelsey, you rock. Pisces. Let me see if it's going to be any other Taurus. But Kelsey, let me mark you down here. Kelsey, you are the winner this round. So, Taurus. Let me put your stamp here. And let's go. Look at her. Look at her, Kelsey. All right, Taurus. Ooh, it jumped out. Eagle. And this is like really interesting for Taurus. Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio. I don't know if you guys listened. You guys should also check Scorpio reading here as well, as it connects. Taurus and Scorpio on the same axis. And I really feel this is very telling. And let's see what else you guys get here. What else? Ooh. This one definitely wants to come out, and it was spinning, and it just spun to be reversed. Okay, this one wanted to come out. What's up, Taurus? What's going on? Oh, and this one. Oh, so it's going to something turn your whole worldview upside down. I do not like the world reversed. I don't like because, and I'm going to clarify it here. I'll get one more here. And look at this force. And this force, like, I think Taurus is born in April, are going to feel this a little bit more than those in May. And it's going to be really about shrewdness, finances. You'll try to look for motivation of some sort. This is almost asking you, this communion, to go and participate. But you have this attitude like, nah, what, why, and what's the matter? And that attitude sucks, because you can do so many different things this month, but almost like as if you just even don't want to go there. Or maybe you're sick, and maybe this is why it's turning like your world upside down. That's a possibility. So how do I go here? I mean, eagle is very powerful. It's basically that connection with different kind of like species that is really powerful. And I don't know if you guys had it, like, didn't you, or somebody left, was it you, Andy, left a comment how you connected with the crow, and I think that's that beautiful moment that actually is really, really defining us, right? When you kind of like realize, oh my gosh, like other species are understanding me, not in a sense that it's just like, I mean, you train your dog and he does the stuff, but sort of like they're making intelligent decision, and that you really see that there is like the communication happening, right? So eagle spirit over here for you guys is, and just remember, like, we are going through transition of Aquarius sun. So this is like basically, I did say you have a connection with Scorpio, but also it's all square to all the fixed signs, to both Scorpio and Leo. So this is about eagle spirit that is associated with the highest and noblest, right? It's encouraging our spirits to soar. So almost like it's the feeling, oh my gosh, I can touch the sky, right? So there is like some kind of like physical expression that needs to happen, whether it's going to be plant or animal or even human, right? Something really, really different is going to happen. You're going to feel some kind of manifestation of a spirit, if you wish. So kind of hard to describe this, because it's almost like a warm river. It feels like a warm river. Like, do you know, like when you sip a tea, you can feel sometimes how the warm or hot tea goes down? But this feels similar, except it doesn't feel like one line. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know, when you drink tea, it just like feels it's one flow. It almost like feels like it's a multiple. It's kind of like almost rays coming through. I had these feelings many times, and it's really very specific. So rest and relaxation is the name of the month for you, in order to basically be able to tap into this, right? And connection with the animals and people in a really different, meaningful way is going to be really important. You are going to find yourself in some kind of like unspoken communication, and man, like, I mean, are you part of somebody who is leaving this planet, and maybe you're communicating with them in that way? It's also very possible. It's a really, really weird combination, because the world means the world is coming to an end, which can signify endings of a sort. And this is not you, because you continue on, but there is like somebody in your life who maybe needs you, who needs your help, or it could be that you are feeling that some disease that you're getting is the beginning of the end, and it's kind of a little bit negative. But it's not going to last very long, because the world is, when it comes reverse, it's simply saying one thing. It's just weird, because you got the eagle before it, right? And it says you haven't done this part well. You didn't graduate. You need to repeat the cycle. So basically repeating the cycle, which is kind of like making you sick, is like, oh my God, this again, especially with Taurus. Taurus doesn't move really fast. And so I said it's weird because you are getting this like boom whoosh of energy, like this whoosh of communication, but maybe you yourself are realizing I better back up, I better do it. Like that's what I do in French, right? Right now I'm on a very advanced level, but I'm doing exercises for the very basic kind of like levels because I skipped it and I purposely put myself back. Otherwise, I'm going to learn this with issues all the time, right? Like even in English, I still make these errors because I didn't cover articles properly, and it just like stuck with me, and that's what I'm trying to avoid there. So, my dear Taurus, whether or not you are repeating the cycle, you are going to feel gentle, let's put it this way. I'm going to take lots of R&R, like to the point that you're going to be really bored. But what really worries me here is that you feel that you want to shut everybody down, and I don't really like to see you kind of like doing it. So you're going from being, maybe you're just choosing one person, if this is what it is, like just maintain this communication, because generally I think you're going to feel a little bit off, not with other people, but just kind of like in your own world. So, but pay attention to the signals and signs, and that's going to be your basically spiritual guidance. So let's see over here. Yeah, like English is really quick to learn to speak, but it's very complex as a language, has lots of rules. And me coming from a Slavic speaking language where we have no articles whatsoever, it's trying to figure out, okay, which one is the genitive, which one is the dative, and when to use it. It's just like nightmare. And I'm realizing that I'm starting to do the same thing in French, and my French teacher is like very strict. No, you forgot the article here. French has articles all the time. There's no escaping. And so that might even, I almost said millionaire, like improve my English. Who knows? We'll see. And let's see who is the one who is the sugar on today's first part. You guys didn't guess. I'm going to give you a few moments, and then we are going to do our doors, and we are going to do some, Barbie and Kelsey attention kind of a thing. So let's see. This is still a little bit crooked, but it's okay. I don't know, because you should see my camera. Like, you would assume that if you put it down and straight, it's going to be down and straight, but it's actually on the angle, and it works this way. So we have Aries. Ooh, like a little sheepy. I would not mind like hearing Aries as well. Let's see what happens. What is my brother cooking behind my back? It would be interesting. I'm doing lots of Lenormand readings for that. Lenormand is great for that. So you have Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And it's going to be Pisces. Pisces came under the wraps. So what is it that we have? We had Aquarius, Capricorn, Scorpio, Cancer. Oh, look at this. We had all the water sign today. So that's really interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Pisces. So let's see. Let me put the stamp here. And let's start. Pisces. This one wanted to come out. Crystals and focus. All right. Pisces. Pisces. Ooh. Tons. So we have also Six of Pentacles. Who was that with? Cancer, right? The Hermit. As I said, it's kind of like a month to be on our own. So we have a Five of Cups, Seven of Cups, and the Sun. Okay, so that's the good news. The Sun is going to shine in the very end. But look at the path around it. So this is like 11-18, and that is basically your card, the Moon. And this is basically your card as well. It's a lower, I guess, energy, because in your past life you have been like in this life, you have chosen to upgrade the lessons from this life where you had Kermit as your card when you were Virgo, which is another 9 vibration. So what do we have here? Literally, I really want to see the 7 of Cups, or 5 of Cups, rather to say. It's probably more important. It's also conversation. So there is, it says crystals and focus. To me, this card is not so much about focus, but it's about, again, the energy flow, right? And the amethyst doesn't give me kind of like focus, if you wish, but it gives me more kind of like grounded and more spiritual kind of like feeling where I connect with higher powers, if you really wish. And it's really, really powerful, right? It's one of the most powerful crystals, at least for me. Like you probably have, you all are different and different energies, right? So it's kind of like time for you to maybe eliminate distractions and give yourself an undivided attention, right? And I don't care if this is a project or a relationship or simply some kind of like time that you spend, let's say, walking in the nature, snow, rain, or whatsoever. You kind of like just need to be fully present in the situation, right? So your awareness is expanding because this is also about that awareness, right? Which kind of like parlays you into kind of like appropriate action, right? So this is almost like crystal clarity. It's like A Few Good Men. If you remember that movie, is this clear? Crystal kind of a thing, right? So maybe that's where they came up with focus over here, right? So I would just really say clearly you are not in that hyper vigilant state. You're rather dealing here with kind of like having a good grasp of a big picture, and that is also making you sad. You are really going deep in meditation. You're realizing that certain people are not reciprocating things that you would like them to, and it's maybe you are the only one who is a giver. This makes you sad. It might be even a breakdown of relationship, and you're speaking a lot about it. And the people around you are very supportive. They are really telling you there will be others, there will be things to do. And you are reassessing other options. But it almost looks to me that because this is 9 and this is 19, so it's 9 contained but also 1, so we are moving, and so 1 and 9 is also 0, 10, which turns into 1 and has the 0 contained in it. And so it is this new cycle of some sort, but almost like it feels that if you, let's say, are on an off cycle with somebody, or you broke up with somebody, I think this is done because you guys are not on the same wavelength. Maybe one person wants to move forward to marry, another person is not ready, and hence coming up with this idea. One person is triggered, oh well, no, we're best off to kind of like break up now. So it's kind of like interesting situation that is really happening here. But I feel this person is coming back, or you're coming back. There's like this reunion, there's like this unity of a sort. And now you have a much clearer idea who you are and what you want. You did put, I don't want to call it that you put your foot down, but you did speak your wishes, you send them to the universe, and things did happen. So this is really, really telling and really interesting. Keep in mind that with these 9s that are really feeling really strongly over here, you being a 9 and the Hermit showing up, it talks about the answers are inside, and you first have to come up with that before you kind of like put them out. But you need to be true to yourself, and your friends are your best basically weapon at this stage. You need to talk to them, you need to express yourself, and you need to basically feel who you really need to be, and that is what is going to guide you forward in a very, very good direction. So that's it, the first part. Let me just put it aside. The kittens cannot find it because they find everything these days. Let's see. Like they are becoming teenagers. I can tell they're not rushing in bed in the morning. The whole routine of waking me up at 5 o'clock stopped, thankfully. But I'm also missing those big expressions of purrs and hugs and everything that is going on. All right, let me just put it aside. Oh, I didn't bring another deck for you, and I will bring another deck. Let me just do this. Which deck do I choose? I have so many decks that are in boxes, and I want to open them for all of these dailies, but I'm feeling lazy digging through my crawl space and finding them out, so I just keep combining the decks that are on the shelf, and there are quite a few of them, but most of them are Rider Waite, kind of like a style, so we'll see. Okay, so Barbie was first. Let's see Barbie. You got something. Ooh, you got Seven of Swords. Barbie, the message is very, very clear. That somebody is trying to quote-unquote rob you of something and behind your back. And you are like really fine-tuned into it. Like I think that your psychic abilities are really coming to the fore. And look at him in this particular card, and they're like the cross because I guess they're swords after all. But in this particular card, he is fully alert, and he's also on a very high ground. So he actually understands what is going on and how to really deal with this. So be very careful of people. I would just say, because that sometimes signifies deception of a betrayal, right? And since universe is at this stage, because look at this moon shining, you're going to have somebody revealed, but that also can talk about you, that you need to be strategic, that you also need to be grateful for the resources that you have. And that suggestion is like you need to move quickly and silently. So kind of like don't make big waves, but just focus on the end goal, and that's going to be really, really important, right? And Kelsey, sorry Barbie, I don't have like flowery things, but it is what it is. And Kelsey, you are getting this cool King of Swords. Isn't this like the coolest King of Swords than in any deck? Look at him. He has owl. He has bats. What the heck is this? Is this a champagne bottle? No, it isn't. But man, like with my astigmatic eyes, it look that way. He has the eagle feathers, which are legal in Canada, and I ordered one, I believe, from Australia, and now Kittens found it, and I'm a little bit afraid that it's going to be the history very, very soon. So what are we dealing here, Kelsey, King of Swords? When you get King of Swords, it's basically talking about intelligence. It's talking about logic and rules and law and clear and really sharp thinking. This is talking about somebody who is a strong communicator and a leader, right? It's blending that mental and spiritual, right? And it's kind of like bravery and courage that is included over here. So we are really talking about here that you have all these energies that are really important for a really well-rounded success. So be very courageous when you are pursuing, let's say, your path. And I don't know, find your authority. Hello, that's Chesapeake Girl. Find your, like, almost like that confidence, that authority and communication in a really eloquent way to kind of like display the wisdom. And with that, you're going to really get attention in a really, really good way, and reputation is going to be really, really solid with this. So the next one, we have our doors. I'm going to put the thing here. I'm actually doing pretty well on time. I'm shocked the first time, and I'm not feeling rushed in any of that, and that's possibly because you guys are not speaking enough and I cannot catch up with you, so I'm going to blame it on you. All right, I'm going to shuffle it off the camera so I don't have to close it and open it. Oh, I forgot to put the little fluff stuff. I guess Kylie was not here to remind me, but it's okay. Please, Barbie, if you remember the next time. to put the little fluffy things on the readings, like the icons. All right, so door number 1 just jumped out, so I'm going to, is it 3? I guess I can take them all for door number 1. Door number 2. Okay. And door number 3. All right, guys, so let's see the door. Welcome, 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 and quiet morning. It's morning for you. For me, it's already 1 p.m. So look at this. We have the Hierophant. This is freaking awesome. And then we have Strength, Majors, and then we have 2 of Swords. So anybody picked the door number 1, you have a feeling that you want something, but it's going to feel, it's so weird. You're so conflicted, but you almost like feels like you're tempted with something where you are going into that with high moral attitudes. It's almost like feeling like a marriage of some sort, but in the end you're realizing there's like some kind of like falseness, and something that looks good on a paper is not so good in the nature. Like you marry somebody who looks great and it's like all accomplished, and then you realize it's all fake, it's all purchased, or it's and like there is like a doubt coming through. So like, is this yes, it can happen, but you are going to have your own doubts. Let me see the door number 2. Jenny, you have 3 of Pentacles reversed. I would say no. And the reason why I would say no is the 3 of Pentacles generally talks about teamwork. Everybody has to contribute in order to create the final product. So maybe it's a partial yes, but somebody will just be MIA, right? And because of that, it just cannot happen. So something, an element is missing. So this is not no forever. This is like a no in this moment that we really need to reassess it. And let's see the number 3. Oh, we have 9 of Cups. This is like a big yes. And look at his like big heart. And you're going to be actually be super happy. Like these, and look, it's weird. It's 9 of Cups, but it's showing the gold things. You literally feel blessed. And that usually happens. And this is the blue hair. Oh my gosh. I want to actually do something crazy in my old age and dye my hair pink or blue. I think I'm going to start with a wig and see how it works before I just commit to disaster. It's like now dark brown. So guys, you, even though you want it, you highly doubt that you can get it, and you will get it. So that's really, really awesome over here that something like that would happen. I love this deck. I'm going to use it when I'm done, because my monthly readings I always do with a cat card. This is my cat tarot, but I also want to use all the other decks, and this one is definitely one of my favorites, the Light Seers Tarot. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It was so good to see you, especially, is it still snowing? I think it stopped. Andy, is it snowing where you are? Maybe it is, I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing 2 kittens in a window looking out and enjoying this. Like it's like proverbially just meditation watching them. So until the next time, guys, I wish I wanted to go silver. Oh my gosh, you and I should do it together. Turquoise is great, but like that card that had this blue one, or just like silver. Yeah, that would work, silver. But blonde looks awful on me. I have blue eyes mostly. I have green blue eyes, mostly green, mostly blue with the dark blue rim. So it's just like, you know, some people look really good blonde with blue eyes, but I have olive skin. So for me, it just looks really, really weird. And so I don't know how gray would look on me because that's so close to blonde. But blue and aqua would really work. I love you too, Barbie. I love you all, guys. It's so nice of you to stop by. Please don't forget to like these videos. Just come throughout the month to kind of like check out. So I'm still to post the timestamps, and after that I'm off to my own weekend. So I have brown as well. I have wanted, oh, you have brown eyes, wanted blue eyes. Well, you can try with the what do you call it, contact lenses, right? And just to see how it is. You know, I just like look at Tiger's eyes, and his has these big brown eyes, and they're so soulful and so beautiful. And then I look at Safi's eyes, and her eyes are sky blue, as you know, and it's like so freaking like a charming. So every color has its own thing, right? So let's see. It's kind of like now more just flat brown, and I guess, you know, I really like to have some kind of like red highlights. There you go, guys. That will be the color. If it did go on, it's almost like the table, so it's kind of like nice contact lenses. Yeah, that's the way to go. Just to try it. Be careful, because putting contact lenses in your eye caused me such a huge freaking infection that it was just took me a month to get rid of it. So let's do it. Thank you, guys. I love you. I wish you all the best. Hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. We are going to finish February. And let me just see the dates. How is this working? We're going to finish on the 21st, and then on 28th, we are going to have Fan Appreciation Day, because I see no point of starting to do any readings, and I maybe can do a brief weekly, but we are going to have fun for all of these days that are not monthly readings. Now that I'm doing dailies, right? So we can go with that. We will see. As I said, I'm very much very fluid with my decisions, and we will see how it feels. Well, look at ECAT just came, and I'm saying goodbye. ECAT, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. Don't forget to come the next time. I love you guys. Peace. And remember, R&R, trying to figure out big decisions, and we can go with that. Love you all, guys, and I care for you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.